What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Eclectic Beard. So, all right, look, here's the deal, right? So, my kids are supposed to be back in school, but due to the fact I pulled them to homeschool them last year, about 2 months into the school year, they want copies of stuff that they normally have on file. So, I don't know if they lose it, get rid of it, burn it, whatever they do, but kids haven't been able to be registered yet because we've had to take and go through a rigmarole finding their birth certificates and other paperwork that they're supposed to have, which is stupid to me. This is stuff they have on file. Like, if we wouldn't have pulled them, all we'd had to do is be like, yeah, we're re-registering them for the upcoming school year. And they'd be like, oh, cool, we're glad to see them back, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no. So, yeah. Monday, I should be back to normal, finally, as far as recording is concerned. That being said, this is one of the easier things to just, because copyright concerns and stuff like that, I don't have to worry about it. I do have another video that's recorded. It's a different style video than this. I think y'all like it, but anyways. So here we are, yet again, part 3, what's the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you. These are slightly depressing, but also absolutely hilarious for everybody that's in comments going, oh, why are you doing this to yourself? Cause it's funny. Oh my God, it's funny. Yes, it's slightly depressing with the stupidity of some of it, but it's at the same point in time, absolutely hilarious, these compilations. So that being said, let's see how many face palms, we can get to the head right here.
I'm kind of curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
Okay, so just recently while the elections were happening, I had a girl ask me if I was voting for Biden or for Trump. I said neither, I'm in Australia, and she said it doesn't matter, every vote counts. I had to explain to her that it's just her country voting, not the whole world.
What is the dumbest thing an
Every vote counts. Nah, it's cool. It's cool. They're allowing dead people to vote this year too. You're good. And that's a joke for anybody who wants to take and chime in. It's a joke, not a dick. Don't take it so hard, all right?
American has ever said to you?
So when I was like 20, I studied in Kyoto, Japan for like 6 months. And during that time, I got a job in an Irish pub because, of course, I did. And one day, this American man comes in. He's like in his 40s.
Bro, this auto feature here is such a pain in the ass.
And whenever he hears my accent, he starts delivering this speech to everyone about how much he thinks he knows about Ireland. So here's me thinking I'm being friendly, and I was like, oh yeah, I can see why you would think this thing, but it's actually more like this. And he's like, well, you wouldn't really know because you're not really Irish. You're black Irish. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that means, but anyway, yeah, I'm Irish. And he's like, no, I have a great grandmother from Ireland, and that's why I'm really Irish. You don't even look like one. And I was like,
wait,
no,
what?
I was not about to lose my nice job over this man, so I was just like, and give him his gin and tonic. But he was so angry and so livid that I claimed to be Irish that he brought his co-worker in the next day to test if I was Irish or not. Me and the co-worker turned out we were from the same town, and he was like, yeah, she's Irish, and he was so pissed off.
Bro, like, number one, I'm guessing they're supposed to be, are Irish supposed to all look like leprechauns with red hair, the red beards, have the kilts on with the funny little hat and the pot of gold being carried around with them? I mean, like, come on now. Jesus Christ, some people.
I'm curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
I think I might make a series out of this, but this is the first thing that comes to my mind every time someone asks me a question like this. So, in 2015, I moved to the US, and I was a junior in high school at the time. And I was talking to some girls, and they were like asking me questions about Greece. These girls were seniors in high school. And this one girl goes, after I said something about school in Greece and how different it is from school in the US, she goes, oh my God, it's so weird. I feel like you're like from a whole another country.
Number one, you got no accent. Like, you've got like no identifiers of being from a foreign country, like, which is even the people who like the people we've seen that are from like Sweden on here, like, there's still little identifiers that, okay, what exact country are they from? She's got none of that, so.
Because I am. And that was when I realized that education in the US is a scam.
I'm kind of curious. What is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So I was in San Diego last year. I was at a service station, just filling up the car with petrol. And I go up to the cashier and I'm like, "Oh yeah, just the petrol, thanks, mate." And he goes, "Oh shit, is that an accent? Where are you from?" "I'm just from Australia." "Oh wow, that's like a really long way away. So did you fly here or did you drive here?"
I never understand why anybody that's like, unless they say they're from Canada, Mexico, some Central American or South American country, why are you going to ask if they drove here? You can't drive across the ocean. If somebody's from England, somebody's from Europe, somebody's from Scotland, somebody's from Australia, they're not fucking driving. Why would you fucking ask that? Like, it seems like there's a cutoff button in your brain, like, oh, so you flew. Or did you take, like, even I could understand, maybe, did you take a boat here? Did you sail here or something like that? Still long shot, but better than did you drive here? That would, if I was from somewhere outside the U.S. and I got asked that would fluster me more than make me laugh. Because I'd be like, how are you that stupid?
A flu? Yeah, it's probably a little bit too far to drive, isn't it? I think about this all the bloody time. Like, what?
What is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So I am from Italy, but I have lived and worked in the United States for a while. One day this guy comes up to me and he's like, "How do you become a mafia member?" And I'm like, "A mafia member? What?" And he was like, "Yeah, is there like an interview to do? Is there like someone you go to apply?"
You go to Sicily. That's where all the mafiosos are originally from. You just take and go there. Hey, I want to take and join. That's the application process. What the fuck? These people watching The Sopranos and dumb shit like that, or The Godfather. I want to join the mafia. Why? Number one, but number two, like, I'm pretty sure that's something you're kind of either born into or just kind of you're around without realizing it and become part of it because you finally realize it. Like, what the fuck? Where do you apply? You give them your resume, homie. They're on LinkedIn. What the fuck?
I was like, "Yeah, is there like an interview to do? Is there like someone you go to apply?" And I'm like, "What? Apply in the mafia?" This man, grown ass man, thought being in the mafia was just a regular job, just like being an assistant or a teacher or a doctor. Do you really think we have mafia universities here in Italy? Or do we just show up at the mafia boss being like, "Yo, dude, I want to work for you," and he's like, "Yeah, sure, let's go kill some people." Hello.
I'm kind of curious. What is the dumbest...
Bro, that might be the funniest story out of all of them through the through the other two videos we've seen and now into this one. That might be the funniest story right there, because I've seen so many comments. Yeah, these have got to be made up. No, I can promise you they're not. 360 million people. There's bound to be a couple of idiots.
thing an American has ever said to you?
I mean, no shade to Americans because I do dumb shit all the time.
No shade to Americans, but here's how stupid you are.
But I once had a lady comment on a post when I said, "Thank God it's Friday," and she said, "It's Thursday, hun." And I said, "No, in Australia it's Friday." And then she accused me of gaslighting her, to which I answered, "I'm going to blow your mind when I tell you that it's actually summer in Australia too, while you're in winter." And then she called me a terrorist.
I'm kind of curious.
What the fuck? What the... Bro, that's like, number one, the time... Oh my God, yo. Like... Just, not only with the day, like, yeah, it's whatever time here, y'all are however many hours ahead. Yeah, yes, that's, if you're watching, yes, that's a real thing. But the whole other thing with, it's summertime where she's at, and it's wintertime where the Americans at. Well, Southern Hemisphere, they have they have summer when we have winter. That's how that works for anybody who is kind of wondering. Just throwing that out there for the masses.
What is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
Okay, so true story. When I was a teenager, I was in Arizona visiting my best friend who lived out there, and I was there for the summer. And we met this girl, and she complimented my top, and she was like, "Oh, I really like your top. Where'd you get it?" And I was like, "Singapore." She goes, "Oh, is that a mall?" And I look at her, and I was like, "No, it's in Asia." And I kid you not, she goes, "Is Asia a mall?"
I'm kind of curious. What is the dumbest?
Look, we got people that actually watch the Kardashians, so I'm not doubting any of this at all. Like, I could see somebody maybe asking that. Like, is it a mall? Hyper-consumerism, everybody.
Dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So first of all, I think I could probably make an entire series on this because I've been in America for a while and I've heard some pretty crazy things. When I went to high school, I went to boarding school in Utah, and on the first day we were in class and the teacher came in.
So I'm guessing it was Mormon because it's Utah. But of all the places to go to a boarding school, why Utah? That'd be my first question as an American to you. Why Utah?
And went through roll. And as the teacher was going through roll, they told us that if you come from a country where English is not your first language, I'm going to write your name down and you're not going to get graded as harshly because we don't think it's fair. I'm thinking, wow, that's like really good for them, especially a couple of these students. They're struggling to speak English in the time that I've met them and talking to them. So he gets to me finally on the roll and he says, "Bailey." I said, "Yes, here. I'm from Australia." And he goes, "Ah, Australia." And he turns around and writes my name down. I'm thinking, what's going on? Everyone starts kind of talking around. I'm like, shut up. I went in with a 2.9 GPA my junior year. I graduated with a 4.0.
What is the dumbest thing an American
Thanks, Teach.
has ever said to you?
Oh, I love your Chinese accent. I'm French, born and raised.
I'm curious. What is the dumbest?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. I'm French. Bro. Oh my God, people are... That's... My daughter, my youngest daughter, she was 6 at the time. We took and... No, she was 7. We took them... Drove up north. We went to Maryland and Boston and Connecticut. So, we got outside of the Southeast. First time ever seeing outside of, the family. I'd been to Philadelphia's airport, but that was it. But first time, like, they've been outside the Southeast region. I also did A school after boot camp, which I did, I did boot camp in the Coast Guard in New Jersey. But all I saw was Cape May and then Wildwood, a town over. But I did A school in Petaluma, California. So while I was out there, I saw Bodega Bay and I saw San Marin, and I took and seen in a lot of Marin County, which beautiful freaking area. But I also saw San Francisco. So, but anyways, that's been years ago. But anyways, as a family, it's our first time, outside the Southeast, especially my wife and the kids for their first time out the Southeast. My daughter, we're at a breakfast, and like the free breakfast they serve in hotels and stuff like that, the continental breakfast or whatever. And there's a Latino family behind us, and my daughter takes and says they're Chinese. She says, "Oh, look, look at the Chinese people. I love Chinese people." My wife was like, she's trying to get her out the line. I'm like, babe, she's a kid. Like, so you're that young, a kid getting confused, and that's more understandable than some of these adults that are, have had some of the stuff happen to them. Just saying.
Thing an American has ever said to you?
Okay, so I tell this story like all the fucking time. But basically, I'm from Spain, which is in Europe, for those that don't know. And my senior year of high school, I was a foreign exchange student in Vegas, in Nevada, and I was in my math class, and this girl that was like white, blue eyes, blonde hair, and she comes to me, she's like, she says something like, is there a lot of people that look like me in Spain? So I said, yeah, most people look like me, but there are some people that look like you because you was blonde, blue eyes, like you said. And she was like, yeah, because you guys are not white or some shit like that. And I was like, I am white, like, hello? And she was like, yeah, but not really white, but there's some white people because you guys were colonized. And I was like, honey, we are the colonizers.
I'm kind of curious.
What the fuck, yo? Some of this is just like, what? That one kind of hurts, like, the brain to, like, what the fuck were they teaching that kid, like, Spain, like, South America, Central America, Florida, for God's fucking sake, even Nevada, where you're fucking at, that they took and went through there too, like, what the fuck? They were colonized. No, yeah, that girl's right. They were the colonizers. Jesus Christ.
Curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So I live in Cancun, Mexico, and I've been working with American tourism for around 6 years now. And there was this time when a guy in his 40s came to the resort I was working in. It was his first time in Mexico, and he told me he wanted to book some tours. So I started writing down all the tours he wanted to do. He told me he wanted to visit Chichen Itza, Tulum, and Machu Picchu. So I stopped writing and told him Machu Picchu was not in Mexico, it was in Peru. And he asked me how much would it take to get there in a taxi. I told him it would take around from 5 to 6 hours by plane. And he was so mad, he began complaining that how come if we also had Mayan ruins, no one told him Machu Picchu was not here.
What is the dumbest thing an American...
See, that's somebody not knowing geography or history whatsoever. Like, that's... You learn about the Mayans and the Incas and stuff like that during world history in like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Like, this is type of stuff that you should already know, especially being in your 40s. There's also something called the fucking History Channel. And they do programs on stuff like that all the fucking time. So, there's also a great little invention called Google. Some of these people need to use it a whole hell of a lot more before they start saying shit.
Has ever said to you?
Okay, so this is when I was working in a bar in Edinburgh many, many years ago. And this guy kept on saying, this American dude was in, and he was like, you're not Scottish. You're not, well, he didn't say Scottish, he had Scotch. You're not Scotch, I'm a Scotch American, because my last name I saw on a clan map. And so that's how I know where my clan comes from. I've never seen your name on a clan map. I was born at the fucking Inverness General Hospital, you be dead.
What is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So I was raised in Australia and I moved to the US when I was almost 11 years old. And in 8th grade, this girl asked me like, oh, where is Australia? And I was like, oh, like America's here, Australia's here. Like they're two separate continents, two separate countries. And she was like, oh, but like, where is Australia? And I was like, America's here, Australia's here. And she was like, but like, where in America is Australia? And I was like, it's not in America. It's a different country, a different continent. Like America's here, Australia's here. And she was like, but like, what state is it in? Like, is that like a city or a state? And I was like, it's neither, it's a different country. And she was like, but like, America's the whole world. And I was like, no, baby girl, it's not.
Wait, how old were you? Let me rewind this back some, because,
What is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So I was raised in Australia and I moved to the US when I was almost 11 years old. And in 8th grade, this girl asked me like,
okay, yeah, that's too old to be asking or saying dumb shit like that girl was saying.
Whole world. And I was like, no, baby girl, it's not. She really thought that America was the whole world and that Australia was in America. And like, the US education system sucks. So they're all fucking idiots.
What's a piece of information that you learned?
So there we have it. Part 3. Now the last one, you know, yeah, our education, in the 8th grade, you shouldn't be saying dumb shit like that. Like, you shouldn't have, like, you should already have, like, again, it's called geography and history. This is stuff taught in these grades. Like, apparently they don't make sure these kids can... Fucking Bush, no child left behind bullshit. That bitch should have taken, but that youngin' should have been left behind, you know, until she figured out that there's more than just North America. Just saying, and more than just the U.S. So, that being said, like, some of these were like... oh my God. Some of these are just... yeah, I don't know. I think there's some worse ones in the first two, but there were some doozies in this one. There's like 2 doozies at least in this one as well. So, that being said, y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.